Welcome to Absolute GA channel. In this free soap making masterclass, I will teach you step by step how to make liquid soap, washing soap, carbolic soap, and BF soap. I will also teach you how to double the quantity of soap in order to make more profit. Yes, I will teach you all this for free in this video. All I want you to do now is to like this video. Click on the like button to show me some love and watch all the tutorials to the end. Now let's get started. This is Absolute GH once again. Today we are going to learn how to make liquid soap using a hand mixer. And for that matter, we are making 150 liters of liquid soap here. I will take advantage of this video to answer some of the simple questions that people ask me in my previous videos on liquid soap. So please stay tuned, watch to the end and understand it well. Now let's go straight to the ingredients. We have base here or Texapone. I'm using 7 kg for this production. This is 7 kg that I've measured into my bucket. This is SLS or rice powder or booster rice or sodium lauryl sulfate. This is thickener powder or nitrosol or antisol, depending on what you get from the store that you bought it. This is sodium sulfate. This is soda ash. This is caustic soda. This is preservative. The preservative I'm using is sodium benzoate. This is color, blue color. I'm using blue color. And then this one is sulfonic acid. This is sulfonic acid. And I already have my salt in my bowl or bucket. The salt that I'm using is the normal salt that we use to cook. You can use the big ones, you can use the smooth ones, you can use industrial ones, they are all okay. So what I'm doing right now is mix water with my salt. In this production, I'm doing a production for soap. And the soap that I'm doing, we are going to use it to scrub the floor. That's why I'm adding a lot of soda ash and then a lot of caustic soda. If not for that purpose, I wouldn't have used that much of a soda ash and that much of a caustic soda. So I hope you understand here. So this is the sodium sulfate. I'm also adding water to it. I'm only doing this video to show you how to use the hand mixer, because I do get a lot of questions. Madam, how can I get a hand mixer? How do I use it? So for that purpose is the reason why I'm doing this video. I just poured in my SLS into a bucket and then mix. Everything that I'm going to use here, I'm going to mix it with water first so that the production will be easier for me, because just after production, I won't leave it till the next day. I will package it straight away into my big gallons. I'm doing the 25-liter gallons for someone, for, like I said earlier, for industrial purpose. They are using it in their company to scrub. I'm also mixing my soda ash in another bucket. So this is what I will be doing to all the ingredients, all the powdered ingredients. I will just mix them in water, soak them in water first. Make sure it is well mixed so that when I pour it into my main bucket or main bowl, they won't form any lumps or any powder will not be running on top of the soup. So this is what I'm showing you. So if you have not subscribed, kindly do subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of things here to learn from this channel. First, I'm mixing my thickener powder here in my big bowl. I'm using stick to stir because when you use the hand mixer, it produces a lot of air, and the air will be blowing the powders the powder all over the place. That's why I'm using the stick to mix the thickener powder first and then mix the others. So when it gets thick, then I will start using my hand mixer or my mixing machine. Now I'm adding in the caustic soda direct. I'm not mixing the caustic soda with any water because I want it to help, mix the powder, the thickener powder well. It also have some reaction when you do it this way. Now I'm adding in my sulfonic acid. So if you have liquid ingredients, with the exception of the perfume, add all the liquid ingredients first. Then you add in any other thing that you have. So now I'm adding in my soaked soda ash, the soda ash that I mix with water. I just added it to it. And anything that you add, try and stir well before you add another ingredient. It should be one after the other. The first one is the thickener powder. The second one is the caustic soda. And any other liquid ingredient that you have, you add it. So this one is the SLS that I mix with water. So I'm adding that one too. So after you have mixed the thickener powder, the caustic soda, and any other liquid ingredient, then in no particular order, you can add the rest of your mixed powdered ingredients. The powdered ingredient that you've mixed with water, you can add any of them at any time. So this is the preservative that I'm also mixing with water, to make sure it is well mixed before I add it to the main bowl that we are doing our production inside. I hope you understand. Then I'll pour it in. For those of you who have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do subscribe and learn a lot of things from this channel. You can also join my masterclass or my online training, but through this number on the screen. You can either WhatsApp or call. I normally respond to WhatsApp than any other social media networks. This is the sodium sulfate solution. I poured it into a bigger bucket and then added more water. So I will add that one too gradually and stir very well. It is very important to stir. Now, if you need a soap cutter, kindly contact me on the number on your screen. If we have two types, so when you contact me, I will send you pictures of it, and then you will know which one to choose from. This one is my Texapool or my base. I'm pouring it inside the solution, and stir. It is very important when you add the base into your solution, you stir very, very, very well, because if you don't stir it well, some of them will be beneath the solution when you are ready to package. So it's very important you stir it very well, at least 10 to 15 minutes depending on the size of your production. Now after I've mixed the Texapool well with my solution, I went ahead to add in my salt solution. The salt is always important to mix with water, because there are a lot of dirt beneath the salt. Because even this one, I use the white one, but at the end of the day, the kind of dirt and dirt, this is the dirt that I'm talking about, the kind of dirt beneath the salt, you know I'm even thinking of diluting my salt before I put it in my food, because at the end of the day, it's pure white though, but the dirt beneath it is beyond imagination, because it's salt always come from the ground. So they try to take away the sand from it, but at the end of the day, some still find their way inside the salt. So just look at this picture, and then you also advise yourself, because we are eating a lot of dirt. Now I'm adding in the rest of the water to the required measurement that I need, which is the 150 liters. But when you start, you don't have to fill in the bowl to the brim, because you will be mixing some of the ingredients with water. So you have to add all the mixed ingredients into the your bowl first. If it's not full, then you you top it up with the rest of the water for your required formulation. It's very important here. Now with the training, sometimes people do ask, is the online training effective? My online training is as effective as coming to one-on-one. If you sometimes some of the one-on-one training you go home and you forget. But with the online training, you always have it on your phone and refer to. Now I'm adding in the color. I've mixed the color too with water, and then I will add it small, small, like you see me doing. You just pour it and you stir, you pour, you stir, you pour, you stir. You know, all the measurements will be given to you, getting to the latter part of the video, because I want you to concentrate and watch the video well, understand. Then you refer to the measurement, then you practice it on your own. If you don't understand anything, leave a comment in the comment section. I will come around and answer anytime I am free. So this is the perfume. For the purpose of this production, I normally don't add perfumes to this production, because they are using it to scrub the floor. But I added the perfume for you to know at what stage you can add in your perfume. That's why I added just a little perfume for this whole 150 liters of production. Now let's go straight to the question and answer. So someone just asked, do you use the cooking salt for the production of liquid soap? Yes, I use cooking salt for the production of liquid soap. Some will say industrial salt. The industrial salt, we don't have iodine in it. But with the cooking salt, we have iodine in it. But when you use it for your production, it doesn't spoil it. You can use the bigger one, the Adan one, or the smooth one, or the medium smooth one. Your production will come out very fine and smooth. It won't cause any stress here. Before I continue with the questions, let me send this caution to all of us. If you are using the hand mixer, or for that matter any industrial machine that make noise, please try and protect your ears with ear plugs, either disposable or the permanent ones, so that you don't cause damage to your ears in the near future. It's very important. Now let's continue with the question. Another question. Thanks for the video. Please, ma, what is the names of the preservatives you use? Please, I use sodium benzoate to produce my liquid soap and all my household chemicals. And then another question from Abigail Sewa. Please, where do you buy your things? Please, if you want to know where you can get the items to buy, just contact me on the number on your screen. I will direct you to where you can get some depending on your area. I welcome you all to my channel once again. This is Absolute GH Training. We are going to learn how to make washing soap. So the ingredient we are going to use is palm oil, that is bleached palm oil. I've already bleached it. And then I have my lye solution, which I've already explained to you. I have my soda ash also mixed. I have my sulfonic acid too that I'm going to add to the soap. This one is glycerin or glycerin. We need that for as a form of moisturizing or as a moisturizing agent to make the soap. This is silicate. The silicate will help the soap to harden. And then perfume. In making soap, the actual perfume that you have to use are essential oils and not ordinary perfume. It's because the ordinary essential oils are quite expensive here in Ghana. That's why we use the ordinary perfume to make soap. So to get the best result, at least you can blend essential oil with the ordinary perfume. So essential oil like tea tree oil and then lavender essential oil, they are very good when you are making soap. The smell lasts longer. Today's training, we are going to use everything from our kitchen. We are not going to use any sophisticated item. So please watch, and also those who don't have skill and the rest, I'm going to show you how to make soap without skill and then with measuring cups. So I will use just the bottles, the mineral water bottles as my measuring instrument here. So I will just measure we are going to make 1 liter of oil. So I'll just measure 2 bottles of the oil, and then one bottle for lye solution, and then 1 bottle for the soda solution too. So I've already measured 1 bottle into it, and I will measure the second one and then add it to it. So this is the second one. I will add it to it. You can also add SLS to it if you so wish. The SLS will help it to lather more. All the ingredients that we are using to make soap helps it to lather. So if you want more lather, you can use the SLS, add the SLS to it. And because today I'm not using any measuring cup, I will just use this small measurement. This is for medicine. We all have it in our various houses. So if you don't have any measuring cup, you can use this as your measurement. So when I'm with the sulfonic, I will measure 20 ml. One of this is 10 ml, so 2 will be 20. Silicates, I will measure 10. Glycerin, I will measure 10. So this is going to serve as a guide for us. So I've already measured my silicate and added it to the oil. I will go ahead and I measure my sulfonic acid. Sulfonic acid, I will use 20 ml. So I will measure 2 of this and then add it to it, and then continue with the glycerin. This one is polysorbate. I forgot to introduce it in the when I was mentioning the ingredients. It serves as fixative. That it helps the smell of the soap to stay. When you mix it with perfume, it helps the smell of the soap to stay.
So this is how it works. The quantity of perfume that you use is the same quantity of polysorbate that you will use. So I'm making 1 liter of oil, and I will use 30 ml of perfume. So I'm going to use 30 ml of polysorbate. I will mix it together before I add it to the main oil or to my soap. This is how it works. If you use 300 ml of perfume, then you have to use 300 ml of polysorbate. So I've already combined the two, the polysorbate and then the perfume. I've already combined the two. I use this small medicine head to measure the perfume and then the polysorbate, 30 ml, 30 ml. So I've added it to my oil and I will stir to make sure to mix it well. The reason why I do this is that sometimes when you are in a hurry, it's easy for you to forget some of the ingredients. So I always prefer to add it before I start adding the lye solution. This is the color that I'm going to use. The color, you have to mix it with some small oil. It's very important you do it that way, because some of the powders or some of the oil color powders, they come in a form of lumps. When you keep it for a long time, they tend to lump. So you have to mix it with small oil, and then you stir to get rid of the lumps in the color before you add it to your main oil. The color that I'm using, when you go, you just tell them you want oil color. We have watercolor and we have oil color. So just say you want oil color, and then they will give it to you. If we're using it to make soap, then we use oil color to make it. So you then make sure you stir it very well before you add it to the main oil. The quantity of the color all depends on you, how you want your soap, the color of the soap to be, whether you want it light, whether you want it medium, or you want it deep color. That determines the quantity of color that you can use to make your soap. So after adding the color, I then have to mix. If you have a stick blender here, then you can use stick blender. It will help you to mix it more. If you don't have a stick blender, then use your wooden spatula or your stick to stir. I'm adding in my soda ash solution. So this is the soda ash solution. I use 500 ml for it. So you just have to add it and then you stir. As you can see, even just the soda ash has taken it a little. It has already taken it to soup. So you just have to add it and then you stir well before you go ahead and you add in your lye solution, which is your caustic soda mixed with water. After stirring it for a while, I'll go ahead and add in my caustic soda solution or my lye solution and also stir. At this point, if you have a stick blender, you can use it, but if you don't have a stick blender, then you just use your stick to stir until you get a trace. Normally palm oils, they normally give thick trace. They don't give medium or light tracing. They normally give thick trace. Palm oil, palm kernel oil, they normally give thick trace. So you see that it's extremely thick. There's nothing wrong with it. I went to use a stick blender for it small because where I was shooting the video from, there was no plug to I stick blend it, and after mixing it, I poured it into the soap mold direct. Before you start your preparation, you have to prepare your soap mold first. You spray it with alcohol and then you cover it after you are done pouring in. Then you can either use a cover that can cover the soap mold wall, or just use a rubber like I did mine. So after this is the next day, I'm just going to unmold it and then cut it. If you need a soap cutter, this one is just for making videos, but if you need proper soap cutter and then proper soap mold, just contact me. I sell the commercial one. These ones are for video, especially this soap cutter. Its purpose is to make videos and not to make commercial soaps. So that's it. If you want the commercial one, just contact me. And also, whilst you watch, you try and subscribe to my channel, to help me do more for this channel. So this is the final product.
Now we are going to make carbolic soap. Yes, carbolic soap. And these are the ingredients: castor oil, coconut oil, palm oil, bleached palm oil. You can use palm kernel oil. This is my glycerin. This is my phenol, the newly introduced ingredient in our training. This is silicate, my alcohol as usual. I've used it to spray my molds and everything. So now I'm going to measure all the ingredients and then we continue. Now I've finished measuring all the ingredients, but I forgot to introduce this to you, pine oil. This is not a compulsory ingredient you can add. It's optional. If you like, you can leave it because it has some antibacterial properties. That's why we sometimes people do add it to their carbolic soup, but it is not compulsory. It is antibacterial and antifungal qualities. It soothes and treats symptoms of poison and etc etc. It has a lot, it does a lot of things to the skin. It's really a good ingredient. So you can either add it or leave it depending on the amount or the price that you will be selling your product. And this is my red color. Carbolic soap has red color. Its generic color is red. So once you see it, then you know that this is carbolic soap that I'm dealing with. You can't make a carbolic soap and make it green color or yellow color. No one will believe you. So once you are making a carbolic soap, make sure you use red color and it should be an oil color too. Now let's talk about phenol. This is phenol or carbolic acid. It is mild antiseptic. It is very mild, this thing. So what is carbolic soap? It's a mild antiseptic soap containing carbolic acid. And phenol is also known as carbolic acid. It is you can either call it phenol or carbolic acid. It is recognized once someone says carbolic soap, you can easily recognize it by its red or deep pink color. Then you know that this is carbolic soap that you are dealing with. It has antibacterial properties and it makes a great skin cleanser too. And it also treats a whole lot of skin problems like acne, eczema, and a whole lot of skin rashes and the rest. So once someone gets a skin problem, they tell the person to use a carbolic soap. Yes, because of phenol or the carbolic acid in the soap. That helps to treat all those diseases and sicknesses. If you have a very sensitive skin, you have to avoid using carbolic soap because it can cause irritation and some dryness to the skin. Now let's look at the percentage or the quantity that we can use to make of phenolic acid or carbolic acid that we can use to produce carbolic soap. If you want to produce an antiseptic soap, then you have to use 0.2% of the phenol or carbolic acid. This is the phenol. It normally has a pink color, but if you keep it or store it for long, then the color changes to somehow brown, not too brown, but light brown. But the fresh phenol or fresh carbolic acid has light pink color or yes, very light skin color, very pale skin color, pink color. Now let's talk about this phenolic acid. It's an acid. If you want to use it to make your soap, the percentage amount that you can use is 0.2%. If you want to make a soap of antiseptic, if you want your soap to be called an antiseptic soap, then you have to at least use 0.2% of the total oil. But if you want your soap to be called a disinfectant soap, then you have to use 1% of the phenol, 1% of phenol of the oil quantity. So this is how it works. Phenol, as you see, is a is highly corrosive ingredient or agent. and it has a very strong aroma. That's why when you are making carbolic soap, normally we don't use perfume, but some people do use carbolic perfume to make their carbolic soap. It is not compulsory to use the perfume. This one it already has its own smell that it gives to the soap. That's why all carbolic soaps has a unique smell or scent. The phenol is added to the soap with the intent of reducing or preventing bacterial infection. So in this case, what is an antiseptic, or what is disinfectant? Disinfectants A disinfectant product is a product that helps destroy bacteria. An antiseptic product is a product that helps to prevent growth of diseases that is caused by microorganisms. So this is just the difference. So you have to know what you are trying to produce and know the quantity of phenol that you want to use. So now that phenol has been explained, I will go ahead and then continue with the preparation. So the color, you have to use just a little. Just a little will go a long way, to get your pink color. And when you are adding the color, you have to add it small to make sure that the quantity that you are using is enough, or if it's not enough, then you continue to add more. It rather helps than adding more at the same time, and then your soap will become extremely red. So you can see, because I did not mix the color with some little oil before pouring it inside my bowl, the color, you can see the colors inside the bowl, small and this one will take some time before I will be able to mix all the colors together. So with this, I will just go ahead and add my castor oil to it, and then my coconut oil. So I will continue to mix until the color gets well mixed with the oil before we continue. So I've mixed the color as much as I can. So my next ingredient will be my carbolic acid, or the phenol. I'll just add it to it and then stir. After stirring, I'll add my pine oil. Like I said, it's not compulsory to add pine oil because the phenol gives the carbolic acid its own smell, and the work that it does, it gives it to it. If you want to enrich your soap, then add the pine oil to it and then stir. And here, if you want to make it smell extreme, then you can buy carbolic perfume. Don't use any other perfume apart from carbolic perfume. Otherwise, you won't get the smell that you are expecting to get.
This is the end product of the carbolic soup that we just made. What you have to do is, after you have finished pouring it into your soap mold, you then cover it to prevent dirt or any insect to fall in it. And also, when you cover it, it helps in saponification. So you just cover it and then you wait for at least 6 hours before you unmold it. If you don't wait for that long, sometimes you might think in 1 hour time the soap has hardened, but it will deceive you. Once you unmold it, it will later on melt because it will get hard and melt before it gets hard again. So you have to allow it for at least 6 hours, or you can leave it till the next day before you unmold the soap. Also, you have to mix your color with a little oil before you add it to the main one, to prevent because otherwise some of the colors might not mix well and it will be around the soup. We are going to make BF soap. BF soap is not any special soap. It's washing soap, the normal washing soap that we know. The only difference here is that it is white and it is in a square shape. That's from the manufacturers that created the BF soap. They use white color and they also use white mold to mold their soap. So it's not anything different from washing soap. It's the same thing that you will see other soaps with different color, other washing soaps. So it's the same thing. The only difference here is that when you are using it, use an oil which is plain. The oil should be white. If you use palm oil, then you can't make BF soap. If you use palm kernel oil, you can't make BF soap. So this is the oil that I'm going to use. I'm going to use coconut oil. And even the coconut oil is extra virgin coconut oil that I'm using here. You can use the normal coconut oil with very light color, the plain type. But I'm using extra virgin coconut oil because I want to achieve the white color of the BF soup. So this is it. And I'm also going to combine it a little with my shea butter. You can make it 100% coconut oil, or you can add shea butter. You know, when you add shea butter to it, it helps in, balancing the soup. Coconut oil is very harsh when you use it to produce soup. I'm going to use glycerin for moisturizing. I'm also going to use my polysorbate to help as a fixative. And this is the extra virgin coconut oil that I used. I'm also going to use perfume. I will mix the polysorbate with the perfume, and also titanium dioxide. It is a white color. It's not anything special. It's just a white color that you can use to make your soap, and it can also be used to make any product. And this is my lye solution. When I prepare my lye, I try to put it in a gallon and label it. It's very important for children not to, get in contact with it. You have to keep it at a safe place. So after mixing the lye and then with the caustic soda with the water, you have to store it till the next day to cool it down, because we are making a cold processed soup, and it's very important to reduce the heat or the temperature of the lye before you can use it to make your cold processed soup. So one thing about coconut oil is that it does not trace fast if you use it to make soup. It takes time to trace. So suppose that you are using stick blender, then you have to, when you stick blend it, it will just trace fast. So that's the caustic soda or the lye solution that I mix. I let it cool down before using it. And if you want to add soda ash, because you can add soda ash to any washing soap. Maybe you want to add soda ash for extra foaming. You can just add the soda ash to the water, the caustic soda water, or you can mix it, take some of the water and then mix it with the caustic soda, with the lye soda ash before you add it to your main oil. So this is the shea butter that I've already melted. I've allowed it to cool down, and the next stage is that I'm going to mix my titanium dioxide with a little oil to make sure I get rid of all the lumps for it. In order not to make the video too long, I will just pause and then mix the color well and pour it into the main oil for you to see. And also you can stick blend it here. So now after mixing it, I'm adding in my shea butter, my melted shea butter. There's some particles in it, so I want to get rid of it, so I'm sieving it. I've allowed the shea butter to cool down before adding it to the coconut oil, because I don't want heat, any extra heat in the process, to heat up the whole soup process. Once my lye solution is cooled, then the oil too should be cooled. So after adding the shea butter, I went ahead to add in the titanium dioxide mixed with the oil. You add it and you stir. Some of these colors, they come in a form of lumps. You see some lumps in it, so you have to get rid of it before you add in your lye. Otherwise, you will see some color somewhere in the soup, which is not presentable. So this applies to any other soap that you are making. You have to try and mix your color with oil, and then make sure it is well mixed before you go ahead and you add it to your main one. So this is the glycerin that I'm going to add. I've already explained to you the measurement that I'm using. I'm using this small bottle, which I've already explained to you. But try and buy your apparatus to make your soup. You need all those apparatus to enable you to make perfect soups. These ones are improvised. Scale is not expensive. This one, I think now it is 75 cedis or 50 cedis. You can get it depending on where you buy it. You have to buy the scale so that it will enable you to get an accurate measurement in your soap making business. That's why, since most of them or most of you will say you don't have scale, that's why I'm using improvised measurements to make it. So after mixing my color well, I then, this is my polysorbate, and then this is the perfume that I'm going to use. I've already measured it there. If you use 10% of polysorbate, then use 10% of perfume. If you use 30% of polysorbate, then you have to use 30% of perfume. And vice versa, the quantity will have to be the same. The polysorbate and then the perfume quantities will have to be the same to enable it to work as fixative. Don't take 2% of perfume and then 1% of polysorbate. It won't complete its work. So I've already measured it, 30 ml each, and then I'm mixing it together so that I will be using it to make my soup. I'm adding it to the oil mixed with the titanium dioxide, and then you have to stir. Most of the time I go through this process because I don't want to forget anything in my production. Because sometimes if you say I'm leaving the perfume, I'll add it later, I'm leaving the color, I'll add it later, you might do it and forget. So I normally like adding everything first before my lye will come in. Because once the lye gets in, then the soap has started, saponifying. So, you have to be fast with it by adding the rest of the ingredient. And also checking for the temperature of the lye solution and then the oil. It's advisable to have a gun thermometer. If you don't have a gun thermometer, then you can use your hands like I'm teaching you or showing you in the video. You use your hand to tap on the oil, and then you also use the same to tap on the lye solution to make sure that the heats are equal or they are almost equal before you can combine them. Mind you, this is a cold process and not hot process. So the temperatures should be at least near equal or they should be equal before you combine the two. I'm using my stick blender to stick blend the color more, even though I mix it with small oil. I just want to be sure there are no lumps under the oil. So I'm using my stick blender to stick blend it a little. If you don't have a stick blender, then you can use your wooden spatula or the normal turning stick or turning rock stick or anything that you can use to stir. You can use it. You can even use your own spoon, but mind you, the spoon you can't use it again. And even the lye solution will discolor the spoon that you are using. So after stick blending the color and then the oil a little, I will then go ahead and add in my lye solution. There are some dirt underneath, so I just want to sieve it to make sure that I don't introduce any dirt into the soup that I'm making. So after that, you just have to stir immediately. Because I added shea butter to the coconut oil, it will help it to trace fast. Other than that, if you are using only coconut oil to make your soap, then it takes longer time to trace. So then be patient when it happens. That will just be patient with the soap and keep stirring. If you think you are tired of stirring, then you can leave it just for about 1 minute. You leave it 1 minute, then you come back and you stir. By the time you realize your soap has already traced. Now the soap has traced, it has traced very well, and look at how smooth and fine it looks. It all has the stick blender that I used to enable it to trace fast. So you just have to make sure you stir it well to be well mixed. Then you pour it into your soap mold. But mind you, before you go through up to this time, by then your soap mold is ready. It's already prepared. It's not at this time that you will leave the soap to go and prepare your soap mold. You will come back and meet your soap hard. So my soap mold, as you can see, is already prepared there. So I will just stir it a little. I have my perfume and everything inside. Stir it a little and then you pour it. If you are making it for commercial purpose, then don't use this kind of soap mold. This is silicone mold. If you need the commercial cutter, you can get some from me. I sell some. If you need the hydrometer too, you can get some from me. I also sell some. But for now, I've run out of this silicone mold, which I will not even advise a commercial producer to use silicone molds to produce their soap, because it's expensive and you have to buy a lot to be able to complete your batch or do in large batches. So I'll just prepare the top of the soap and then cover it, spray the top, cover it till the next day. Then I will unmold it for you to see. If you need any training too on detergent and other hair and skincare products, just contact me on my number on the screen. You will get it. You can also get my number even if it's not on the screen, then you can even get it at the description box. So this is the next day. The soap is already hard, and then I've removed it from the mold, and it's already hard. Even though I did not use silicate, it's still hard because of the method that I use. You can, all these silicate and the rest are all costs, so you can always do without it. Some people, I don't know why they always want to invite extra costs to their production. If you know the formula that you are making, silicate with or without silicate, the soap will perform its function. Why do you worry yourself to add the silicate? You can skip it and then complete your soap production, and even this will help you to sell at a lower price. Mind you, we are in serious competition with a lot of producers. We are going to learn how to increase the quantity of our soap, and we are going to use heat transfer method. Others still call it semi-hot process method. Now I'm measuring my water for caustic soda. There's not going to be any measurement on this video because this is a tutorial. You only pay your money and you'll be added to the group so that you will learn how to increase the quantity of your soap to make profits. Not just make soap for sale, but to make soap that will enable you to maximize more profit, because we are going to double the quantity of our soap through this method. After measuring the quantity of water that I will need for the caustic soda, I then went ahead to add in the caustic soda to stir. We are making our lye solution here. So when you all know, when you mix the caustic soda with water, it has to turn clear. This method is very simple. This method of soap making is very simple, but it needs some patience. So just be patient with me and then watch me to the end so that you get to know the process very well. So I've mixed the caustic soda and it has turned clear. So I'll set it aside and then measure my soda ash water and then mix my soda ash too. if you need training on any detergents or any hair care products, soap making, you just have to contact me, the number on the screen. It's also my WhatsApp number. You can WhatsApp me, or you can text, or you can call me. I will be always available to answer you. And then if you need training, to just WhatsApp me or call me, and then we discuss about it. So I'm adding my measured soda ash to the soda ash water that I have already measured. And this one too, after you have finished measuring, you have to stir to make the water clear. When you make the water clear, that means it is done and it is ready to be used. So as you can see me doing in the video. Before I discovered this method of soap making, I was just making normal profit in my soap productions until I chanced on it. I traveled and then I saw it, and then later on I joined other online classes to learn from them, and it has really helped me, because the same oil that I used to make a soap, I use the same quantity of oil with the same quantity of caustic soda and soda ash, but now my profit has doubled. So this method is very, 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 very important for those of us who are in soap business. That's why I'm saying, if you want to learn, just contact me and then you learn. So I've already mixed my color with my oil. I've measured my oil. I'm making just 2 liters of oil, but I will get enough quantity, as compared, like double the quantity of what I used to get with the 2 liters of oil. So once you add in your caustic soda, you stir. It's very important. Making this method needs some patience here. You have to be patient with it, because it will need time before you can saponify the soap, and then the soap will be okay for it to be poured into the soap mold. So just stay tuned and watch to the end, so that you learn the skills, and then you just WhatsApp me or call me, and then I will add you to my main masterclass group, so that you also get to know the formulas, the secrets, all about soap. It's not just this one. You will learn cold process, hot method, and then the heat transfer method. You learn all these 3 in one class. So after you have finished stirring it, you just have to cover the soap. I'm adding my remaining soda ash water to it, and then when you finish stirring, you just have to cover the soap. And you, depending on the weather, sometimes if the weather is cold, it takes some time before the soap will saponify. But if the weather is hot, then if you are lucky, 2 to 3 minutes, your soap has already saponified. So I covered it for about 5 minutes, because I was not doing it in a hot weather. So when I opened it, you just have to stir. Stirring is important here. I wanted my soap to be smooth, so I used stick blender, to stir it, to make the soap look more smoother and finer. It's very important. If you don't have stick blender, try to get one. These things, you only buy it once and for all. You will be using it for all your productions. So if you buy it, you will not buy anything that will create costs, and it's not too expensive too. Stick blender is not too expensive if you are a super. I have a bigger one, and then this mini one that I use for my videos. So after I finish stirring or stick blending it to make it smooth, I went ahead to cover it again. This one you might even cover it 10 or 8 times depending on the weather. Sometimes you might even cover it for just 5 times, and the soap is ready for you to pour into your mold. So after covering it, as you can see, it is turning to gel. The soap is now turning to gel like pap. So you just have to continue to stir. The motive here is to make sure that the water mix well or dissolve well with the oil, so that once you pour it into your soap mold, you won't get any excess oil in this, excess water running in the soap. So this is our main aim of covering and stirring, covering and stirring. So after covering and stirring it for about 2 to 3 minutes, you then have to cover it again. To make sure that the heat in the soap or the heat in the lye and then the oil will help to, cook the soap. It will help to cook the soup. It's very, very important here. So after covering it, after stirring it for about 2 to 3 minutes, I then covered it again, and then as you can you see how it has turned to gel? Yes, I will just continue to stir, because when I stir vigorously, I do get some splash from it. That means there's still some water in the soup, so I have to continue to stir. It's very, very, very important. The stirring is the most important thing here. So once I got to this stage, I went ahead to add in my silicate. That is, if you are using silicate, silicate helps to harden soap and also add shine to the soap. Even with this method, you can do it without the silicates, but for the sake of the tutorial, I have to add it to show it to you, so that there won't be much questions on why there's no silicate. You can add it or leave it, and you can also add calcium or kaolin if you want to. So this one, I'm not adding any kaolin, I'm not adding any calcium to it, but I just want to show it to you that even without those fillers, the soap will still be hard and be ready to be used in a few days after production. So after stirring it again, I covered it, and then you continue to stir. It's very important to the stirring there. You can't do away with it. Now it is I think the water has it's almost gone, so I went ahead to add in my perfume, which I've mixed. I've combined perfume with other things. There's polysorbate, there's water, even there's water in the soup. Yes, there's water. There's water in the perfume. So after adding it, you just have to stir. You just have to, some perfumes, yes, especially the highly concentrated one, it turns, it just can turn soap into water. So very soon, you just have to stir it, and then you cover. It's the same process like I was doing. If you see any dirt inside, just take it out, because you are selling it to people outside. This is just a small portion for demonstration. You can do it in large quantity. I will teach you how to do it in large quantity. So now it has fully saponified in the bowl. My soap has fully gelled. Sometimes the soap will gel when you mold it. Sometimes so it will gel in your bowl right there and then. Now once it has gelled, then it's okay for you to pour into your soap mold. So I'll just continue to stir in for few minutes before I will continue to pour it into my soap mold. So this is absolute GH. If you have watched this video to this point, then please try to subscribe to my channel. If you have not, there are a lot of things on this channel. How to make soap using the heat transfer method. The same method is on the channel, but how you can double it is what I'm teaching in my masterclass. So if you are interested, just contact me. You can also share the video you like. You can give comments, and then also recommend it to others. This channel has a lot of things to offer you. I have a lot. How to learn Azuma Blue, how to learn laundry soap, how to learn bathing soap, how to learn make carbolic soap, how to make BF soap. Not only soap, so how to make tiger nuts drink, pudding, a lot. How to make ice creams, how to make pancakes. You can get all of these from my channel. The channel has a lot to offer you, so just go through Absolute GA channel and find anything, Parazone, liquid soap, shower gels, and learn all these things from my channel. Now it has gelled enough. Don't mind the lumps that you see inside. Once you pour it into the mold, they will all melt and then they will just saponify with the soap. So when you cut it, you won't see any lump in the soap. Have you seen how beautiful it looks? And the color too. I think I like this color a lot. It's not too pinkish, not pink, not red. Oh, I like this color, like strawberry, not too strawberry. The color is so unique. So now that it has gelled and turned to pulp, I would just go and pour it into my soap mold. It's as simple as that. I'll just go and pour it into my soap mold for it to continue to saponify there. And one advantage about this soap is after you have molded it, you can use it right there and then. You don't have to, cure it for weeks. You don't have to cure it for weeks because it has already saponified and there are no chemical, no lye in it that will disturb the skin whilst using it. And also it gets hard instantly. It gets hard. Even if you don't get hard instantly, it will take just a few days for it to get hard to start using it. So you don't have to cure it. You can decide to cure it for just 3 days, 24 hours, 1 week, 2 weeks. It all depends on you, how hard you want the soap to be before you use it. So this is the next day. I'll just unmold it and then cut it so that you will see it's very hard. If the soap gels well, then it becomes extremely hard, so hard that you can even use it the same day. But sometimes it won't gel while during preparation, but rather gel during like after you have molded it. So this is it. I will just unmold. Let's say after making it and then the next day you think that it's not as solid as you want, then you can just leave it in the mold for another hours, a day or two, or let's just say like 12 hours, 5 hours. It will just get hard for you to mold it and then cut it. But normally it always gets hard during just the next day after you have finished making it. So I'm still in the unmolding process. I'm still unmolding it for you to see how it is done. It's very, very solid. Even cutting it was a problem. You might think I use a lot of water so it will be soft. No, it's very, very hard. Like I said, cutting it was even a problem. So as you can see me, I'm checking how hard it is. So thank you for watching. I'll just cut it into any shape or size that I want. You can also do the same thing for your soap. So thank you, and then see you in my next video.